Welcome in, everybody. It's Tuesday night, Ape and Bros show. We gave you a little post game this week for the first time. Went okay. Got a little sidetrack. We could have been a little more concise, I'm sure, but you're used to us by now. Anyway, that was kind of initial reactions. We got a little more in-depth breakdown tonight with Ben. Says he has 75 videos, so this this show should only take probably 7 hours. We'll get through it. Hang in there.
7 hours, give or take an hour.
No, we're gonna zip through it. I don't have a heck of a lot to say. I kind of used up all my stuff the other day. Those are my thoughts. Unless you can prove me wrong with some of your videos, maybe you're gonna prove me right about some of my concerns. We'll find out. But overall, very good game. Packers 9-3, and you look at things. They're the number 2 seed right now. They're looking in pretty good shape. They got a tiebreaker with the Saints. All kinds of good things happening in Packer world. And yeah, I mean, come on, 5-1 at home, 4-2 on the road, 3-1 in the division, 7-2 in the conference. That's nice as well. Trying to think what else we got. Saints are 8-1 in the conference. That's good stuff for the Pack. All right, but we got some stuff that are a little concerning, I'm sure, too, that Ben will probably show us some evidence of. You got evidence, Ben? Or is it all good? Is it all good tonight? Or is there some stuff you're concerned about? Bernard, how you doing?
All I know is my internet connection is unstable, it says.
Oh, unstable, kind of like you.
So that's great.
Your internet connection is much like yourself, unstable. Just kidding.
I was going to be nice tonight, but I didn't even say anything, and Bernard's already telling me to stop hating on Rodgers. So guess what's happening tonight?
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
I have no video of Rodgers playing bad. So.
You're going to hate on
I
the
could
guy.
have, but I didn't. I just chose not to.
You're going to hate on the guy who's like the MVP of the league. That's awesome. Who's playing at the MVP level, playing one of his best seasons ever. We're going to hate on him a lot. That doesn't make sense. All right. Let's get into it. Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones might cause my cleats. He had a good one. He liked it. He's getting
Did he have a good one?
Yeah, he's really coming along too. I mean, now, for a while it was just the sunglasses, then he was wearing the sombrero. Now he's doing sunglasses and sombrero and like everything. I mean, he's going full Jones ahead. El Paso, Texas Jones coming at you. So watch out. Don't worry, Bernard.
He'll probably be a Cowboy or a Texan next year.
No, Packers are going to lock him up. Bruce will tell us how many people we have to cut to do it, but we'll get it done. Bernard, how are you feeling about? Now you've had a couple days since Sunday's win. Still feeling good? Shouldn't be scared about anything. I know you're not scared because there's no game right now. J.K. Scott sucks, Bernard says. Okay, well, he's not great.
Yeah.
He hasn't been very good. But I go back to he's a Brian Gutekunst draft pick. What are you expecting, Bernard? What are you expecting, sir? J.K. Scott has had some moments. He's done some good stuff. He's had some bad stuff. He's very inconsistent, I will say that. Because how does a guy that can boom it like almost 80 yards in some games kick it like 30 yards or 28 yards sometimes? I mean, I would think with that's all you practice and all you do and whatever that you'd be at least, I mean, maybe you got a 20-yard range there. Maybe you hit some 40-yarders. Maybe you hit some 60-yarders. But how do you hit it like 20-some yards one time and another time you actually hit 78 yards in the air? I don't know. Kickers are weird. Why does Mason Crosby make all the field goals and miss 3 extra points? I don't know. I don't get it. Any interesting stuff from the chat on Sunday, Ben, that tripped your trigger or that you want to bring up? Or from your exchange, your Facebook Messenger exchange with the insiders?
No. Yeah, I guess so.
Ooh, Bernard says, feels great. He thinks we could make a run. That's the spirit, Bernard. You got it, baby. Make a run. That's right. I'm telling you, hope is there. Just get a couple breaks. One bad play by the other team's offense, get a couple of stops defensively. This team can beat any team. All right, what do you want to bring in from the chat, Ben, or from your exchange? Anything good? Let me get to your videos after that.
Well, they said that Z and Preston and Kenny Clark all got together and went to Patton's office and said, "Hey, let's simplify the defense so that we can just get after the quarterback," which is hilarious because that's all Zadarius has been doing all year is trying to get at the quarterback, whether it's a running situation or a passing situation or a screen pass or any type of play. That's all he's ever done. So the fact that he went up to somebody and said, "Hey, let's simplify the defense. All you do is rush the quarterback." And as a matter of fact, I have a play in the video here where Zadarius was in coverage. So if anything, they made it harder than it normally is for Zadarius because usually he's never in coverage. And apparently there was one time in this game where he was in coverage because I have the video of that play.
Maybe that was punishment for
It might have been
coming to Patton and saying that. You're like, what are you talking about, man? All you do is do that. I give you no responsibilities on any play.
And I will say this in honor of Ekis.
What?
Back your mug here. Blake Martinez is getting some love with the Giants. I've heard more than one person on national television and national YouTube-ness mention Blake Martinez as a key factor to the Giants' turnaround and how great their defense is playing.
Dang.
They were saying that the defensive line of the Giants is great, and they play coverage in the back end, and the defensive line does a good job getting pressure on the quarterback as well as taking care of run gaps and run discipline. And it allows Blake Martinez to go run around and make a bunch of plays, and make a bunch of tackles, and do a bunch of important things, which is hilarious because when he was a Packer, he made a bunch of tackles too, but he always had to clean up everybody's mess, apparently, is what he said. And now the Giants, the defensive line in front of him, they're all like 290 or larger, even the defensive ends, because it's in a 4-3. And he's able to, be free and not have to worry about taking on a block or anything most of the time because his guys in front of him are taking on the blocks for him. And he's able to roam and make tackles and get there and use his intelligence and make plays. And apparently the Giants are doing great lately, obviously, because they beat the Seahawks and all that. So it's one more thing. Where would you rather have Christian Kirksey playing linebacker or Blake Martinez? Well, we let Blake go. So there you go. Pretty sad.
I just checked it out since you're talking about it because I hadn't been paying attention. Blake Martinez, 111 tackles. 111 tackles so far. 58 solos, 48 assisted, 2 sacks. But he is only trailing 2 guys in the league in tackles right now. He's ahead of Bobby Wagner. He's ahead of Eric Kendricks. He's ahead of Joe Schobert. He's ahead of Jalen Smith. He's ahead of Devin White. He's ahead of Roquan, your guy Roquani.
Yeah, he didn't help me watch this week either.
But
who's he behind? Fred Warner and the Maniac?
No, he's only behind. No, Maniac missed a bunch of games. He's always misses games with injuries. Avery Williamson has got 130 tackles.
What team is he on?
And Zach Cunningham.
Zach Cunningham sucks.
He's got 119 tackles somehow. I don't know.
That's because his defense is terrible. They can't get off the field. That's why he gets so many tackles. Yeah.
Williamson is on the Steelers, so he must.
That makes sense.
And they have a good defense, so he must just be tackling everything and getting. I mean, he must be like a monster, I guess. I don't know him very well. Yeah, hopefully, we don't have to worry about him or see him again. Let's see the Packers. I'm looking for the Packers on here. Oh gosh,
Adrian Amos leads the team in tackles.
There's not anybody on the first page, and definitely not a linebacker. That was the other thing about Martinez, right? The guy always played. Like you could always count on him for availability.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I see it. I know Ekis wanted him back so bad, and we kind of said, well, they got to move on. And
well, we thought they were going to do something in the draft.
Yeah, we did.
And they didn't. So they made that not signing back of Martinez even a bigger pain in the Rumpelstiltskin because they didn't make the move in the draft on draft day when they could have. at least getting somebody who's athletic and crazy and might be able to turn into something someday. I mean, even the Vikings got Troy Dye in the third round, who was a big, fast linebacker for Oregon in college, and they don't even need a linebacker. They got Eric Hendricks, a middle linebacker, and they still drafted this guy, Troy Dye. So it just shows you, I don't know. Who knows? It's
Well,
I mean, it's over, but I just thought it was interesting that it was multiple people who mentioned Blake Martinez this last couple of days when I was listening to different things, and they were just saying how he's having a great year, and it was a great signing by the Giants. So
gotcha.
they're
Yeah.
talking about what sparked this turnaround from being 0-5 and being 1-7, and now they're 5-7 or whatever they're 6-7, whatever they are, 5-7. But at least they're ahead of their division, and they're making plays, and they're looking better, and all this kind of stuff, and they're really being led by their defense. And they just said like Martinez might be the difference, and and kind of helping the team get together and do the things that they need to do.
He's smart,
So
and he knows what's going on, and he'll make sure guys know what they're doing, which we've seen a bunch of. Seemingly, we don't know what's in the players' heads, but seemingly they don't know what they're doing some of the time. And if they go to the coach and ask him to simplify the defense, it would make you also support that argument that they don't know what they're doing some of the time, or way too much of the time. Z's all excited that he's got more than 10 sacks now for 2 years in a row.
He does. So I don't even
10
know.
and a half sacks now after 7 sacks against the Eagles, because the Eagles and Carson Wentz, they just wanted to run into sacks all the time. And their line's not good. But it's
sometimes,
it's interesting. It's interesting. There's, again, you can't watch Zadarius Smith on the season and think he's a Pro Bowler, but he's going to end up being a Pro Bowler just because he has so many sacks. Whatever. I hope he plays great the rest of the season. I hope he does. I hope he cranks it up and really gets after it. But I don't know. Well, I don't have a lot of faith that much is going to change. I think he'll make a play or two each game, and that's what you'll see from him, and that's the way it'll go. Okay. Bernard feels bad for Carson Wentz. Yeah, I kind of do too, man. He seems lost. He seems in a tough spot. I don't know how he gets out of it. But don't feel bad because he's getting lots of money, Bernard. So it's not all bad for him. Ben, you got some plays?
I would gladly make a bunch of money and just sit there and do nothing for the whole year or whatever he's doing right now.
Right. Holy man.
No doubt, I would gladly do that. Well, I was gonna since we're talking about Zadarius, we're talking about sacks. Okay. I've got some sack plays, and I want so we'll see we could talk about some sack plays here. We'll do defense first and move the offense. I do have the worst special teams play, but I don't know if I really want to look at it again. I mean, that's one of the videos where I don't really want to look at, so maybe we can skip that one. We know it's bad. We've all seen it, and I'm just sick of looking at bad stuff.
I was actually walking back into the room of the TV when that punt return was happening. So I did not see the first part of it where the guy actually dropped the ball on the ground.
Yeah.
And picked it up and then ran for a touchdown. Like, I just saw him coming up the sideline, and I was
the thing that they said was the way it looked like the way the guys were playing it, the kick was supposed to go to the sideline, and Scott kicked it right down the middle, which screwed everything up. And then he took it to the side where there was less guys on, and it came down to one guy having to make a tackle, 54 or whatever his name is. No, not 54, 56. Who's 56?
Is that
Raylan
Ramsey?
or Ramsey or somebody?
Yeah, that's Ramsey.
Maybe it's 54. I can't remember. But I don't want to talk about that right now. It makes me too sad.
All right. Let's see what you got for sack plays. Give me the sack.
All right. Here we got 2 back-to-back sacks. I think this might be a second drive.
This beer is so good.
Second drive.
The set list is super good. Man. Anyway, sorry.
Good. I'm glad you like it.
It's a very good one.
But the reason this is kind of a coverage sack and kind of not a coverage sack, but on this play, the Packers are playing straight up man coverage with a deep zone safety back here, who is Amos, and
that makes sense.
Wentz is looking for the tight end, and Savage has got man-to-man coverage on the tight end. So that's good news for us. And you can watch and see what he does, and then how it ends up being a sack. Here you go. If you look right here, Savage has got the tight end, stays with him. Tight end actually falls down and Kent's up. And at this point, I just want to look at the secondary for there. So they all were covered. Everybody was covered. It was a good job by everybody on that play. When you look at the pass rush, you'll see the gap discipline and lane discipline on this particular play, and you'll see. Notice where you're going to see Gary come from all the way from this side all the way around. And the other thing I wanted to show was, if you look here, we got Kenny Clark one-on-one. Gary is already getting almost past his guy on the outside. Preston Smith's barely moving, and Kingsley Kiki is getting double-teamed. And by the way, Kingsley Kiki was the guy who got double-teamed almost exclusively in this game.
That's crazy.
So the Eagles knew who the guy was that they had to look out for, just so you know.
They were letting Kenny Clark go one-on-one and doubling Kingsley Kiki. All right.
Yeah, and the reason why I want to show this is, if you look here, like, Gary is almost past the quarterback on this side. He comes all the way around Kenny Clark and makes the sack. Because Preston finally gets some pressure because he kind of pushes. And look at the gap discipline here. I mean, they're doing, I don't know if they're, like, Kenny's not doing anything, and he's got one-on-one block with a guard who's, I don't never heard of this guy. But they're holding their lanes, and they're not doing stupid things and letting the quarterback get out, right? But as I play it here, you'll see. Look at that. Gary just shoves his guy around, destroys that left tackle, goes all the way around and makes a sack. And, it was a great play. Great play by Gary. Hustle. Great hustle play. Now, the next play is the very next play. So that made it be, now it's 3rd and 11. In this play, they play zone, but the pressure comes up the middle, and it's all hustle between Kiki and Gary. They run into each other. Kiki falls on the ground. Gary falls on the ground. They both get back up and go for Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz, I don't know why he's moving up in the pocket there, but he moves up in the pocket. And then those two guys get him down. But we watch it from the other angle. I want you to watch Kiki and watch how explosive he is off the line of scrimmage compared to everybody else that's been. And by the way, there's no Kenny Clark on this play. But watch these two guys, especially right here, Kiki, right here. He's above the left guard, the right guard. Look at that. Oh, he just beats it. I mean, he gets rushed. He's just crazy. He's like a pinball. And between him and Gary, they just, I don't know. It was just havoc, complete havoc from those two guys. And it's just aggression and hustle. And that's two plays with those guys that really made the difference. Like, it wasn't Preston and Z and Kenny Clark who was making the plays in this game on the D line. It was Kiki and Gary who were doing stuff. And then for some unknown reason, Kiki wasn't in the game much in the second half. I don't know what was going on, but he wasn't in there.
Yeah,
and it just kind of was like, well, what? Why? Why is he not in there? I don't get it.
He had his right ankle taped up pretty good, so maybe that was bothering him, but they just didn't tell us. I hope that was the case, because you're right. I mean, I noticed he was an impact guy in the first half, and all of a sudden when they were doing all that bad pass rushing in the second half and leaving all these big gaping holes and stuff, he wasn't part of it. And I'm like, why is he not in there? What's going on? So maybe just that ankle is bugging him. I'm not sure. Hopefully that was it. Otherwise, we got to have a talk with some of these coaches about substitutions and which players are in the game. Somebody's got to talk to him.
Well, it makes no sense. I mean, if a guy's in there and he's dominating, get his butt in there. If he and not only that, the Eagles knew who to double team. It's like, okay, we're double teaming Kiki every play. Now I have two plays in a row here. These are Kiki plays. These are Kiki destroying dudes. Not destroying, but first one's hustle. The second one is like quick twitch, aggressive play call or aggressive play. Okay. But what I want you to watch here, what I have circled is Kenny Clark. Okay. He's going to do some kind of stunt here with Rashawn Gary. Okay. And he's somehow going to get on the left tackle and be way out here. And the left tackle just holds him there. Carson Wentz is going to come around the outside. And I want you to watch how slow Kenny Clark is. And then watch the streak of lightning that is Kingsley Kiki that's running right past him at like 3 times his speed. Because I didn't slow this down or nothing. This is just regular speed. And watch how slow. It looks like it's slow motion. Watch Kenny Clark. So he goes to the outside. He's getting held up by the left tackle. Look at him. He gets a free run Look at him. I watch Kings of Kiki. Like, what is that? It was like slackadaisical. Okay, so I don't know if you saw. I got to go back a little bit. Now this time I want you to watch Kiki, and you'll see Kenny Clark at the end, like moving slow. But this time I want you to watch Kiki. He starts here. He does a couple moves. He jumps back and forth, really quick. He goes all the way, does a stunt here with Z, comes all the way around, and then still goes and hustles to go after Carson Wentz. And it's like he's running all over the place, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. He's just playing great. He's playing aggressive, and he's playing until the whistle. So just watch him. He goes around at the stunt. He's all the way out there, all the way behind the quarterback. And who's the guy who's the closest to him when he goes out of bounds? Now, they gave a tackle to Kirksey for some unknown reason. I don't know why. I guess he was in front of him. But
he needs some. He needs tackles. He doesn't get too many, so you got to give him a benefit of the doubt there.
The Christian Kirksey tackle.
That's good. That's good hustle, man. That's good hustle for sure.
Okay, so that was the hustle play by Kiki. This is a play, just a couple, like 2 plays later. So you just watched him run all the way around all over the place, and he still has the quick twitch and athletic ability to do this next play. He schools the crap out of the right guard and just gets in there. This is when he kind of jumped on top of Carson Wentz, and then they blew the play dead right away because they thought he was going to kill him. So it's pretty awesome. It looks way better from the other view. But this is just going to be full speed. Just watch how fast he gets in there. So he's right on the G right now. Look at it. I mean, look at that. I mean, how fast was that? Like 1.5 seconds, and he's in there. When you watch from this angle, he looks like a running back. I mean, he looks like Aaron Jones. Watch him. He's going to do a couple juke moves. Juke. Look at that. That's better than Devontae Adams getting off the line of scrimmage as a wide receiver. That was crazy. And that's the kind of plays he makes. And when you watch these other guys, they're like lumbering elephants, and then he's like, and then go, and then because of that, they have to double team him, which then leaves, Preston and Z and Rashawn Gary are getting single coverage or single blocks because people are double teaming Kiki. There's multiple plays where the Eagles said, yeah, we're double teaming that guy because he can get off the ball fast and wreck plays. And I've been talking about him for like a month and a half now. And finally, last week, somebody said, stop talking about him. But it's like every time you watch the all 22 film, like you can't always see that in the game because everything happens so fast, you don't really know what's going on. But when you watch the film after, you're like, dang, it's like he really jumps off the screen like, wow, he is playing great. He's attacking, he's aggressive, and he plays to the whistle, and he hustles. And, I mean, that's the kind of guys we need out there, and he's doing great.
Bruce says Daniels, is that Mike Daniels, I'm guessing, said Kiki is the man on Twitter?
Yep. Yeah, Mike
Daniels. He's okay, Zadarius is going to make the Pro Bowl. Preston Smith gets a bunch of money, was in the top, and top 100 players, number 64. Gary's got some more hype because he's playing better. But Kenny Clark has a bunch of money. But Kiki is by far their best pass rusher, regardless of position. He's their best pass rusher, by far. Yeah. Zadarius he has more sacks. You'd say he's their best pass rusher. No. Kiki is their best pass rusher. It's a lot harder to rush from the inside a lot of times. And that last play you just showed, they chose to double team Kenny Clark, and they paid for it. So,
yeah, they didn't do it again after that. They're like, no, we can't do that ever again. No, sir, that is not going to happen.
Bruce says he might be the second best Goody pick next to Jenkins. I don't even think Goody picked him because he was a 5th rounder. That's probably one of the guys,
yeah, you're right.
The other guys that made that.
You're
call.
right. It's probably somebody else found him and said, hey, this guy's really quick off the ball. He's undersized weight wise for a defensive tackle, but I mean, he's doing great stuff.
I'm impressed. I really am. I didn't think much of him. We didn't see a lot of him last year. He was like a 5th rounder or whatever. You're like, okay, what is he going to do? And he's awesome. He's not Aaron Donald, but he plays a lot like he's in size. He does play like he plays a lot like Aaron Donald. He's not quite as powerful, but he's for a 5th round pick. He's pretty damn impactful. I'll tell you that.
Wow, look at that. Bruce is drinking Crown Royal. I'm drinking Royal Crown.
Oh,
I'm drinking RC Cola.
RC. How did they still make that?
Yeah, it was only 99 cents. It's for a 2 liter. I'm cheap.
10 cents? Is that what you said for a 2 liter?
99 cents, you jerk.
Okay.
This isn't 1982.
Your unstable connection broke up and it sounded like 10 cents. I'm sorry.
Is it hard to follow the videos because they're all probably
I've seen them. I think I'm seeing them. Yeah.
Well,
I got the stream up next to me here. That's when I look to my side. It's not because I'm bored with what you're saying. It's because I'm checking out, how it's looking, how it's going. That's the production thing in me. Bruce, Hafeman Bros rocks. If I do not say that enough, I've been telling a bunch of my friends, hey, thank you, Bruce. That's awesome.
Well, you should, because you're the only one who's got friends.
Those guys on here.
I ain't got no friends.
Oh, isn't that Candanesian?
Oh.
Soda? Canadian soda. Okay. I was a little confused there, Bruce. I didn't know what you were going for.
Royal Crown?
It probably should be Canadian soda. It's good. It's good. Everything from Canada is good. You should know that. All right. What do you got here, Ben? What do we got?
All right. Now I got some videos, some more defense. This is for Bruce.
Ooh.
He was asking for some Savage plays. And I honestly don't think Savage was I thought Savage actually played pretty good. I think he was told to do dumb things. Like the defenses were dumb. And then he was the guy who was there to clean up the mess somehow and then it looked like he was the guy who was wrong. But I don't think that's what happened all the time.
Did you hear Matt LaFleur kind of gushing about him a bit yesterday?
No, I didn't hear that.
Matt LaFleur gave him some pretty big compliments. Said he's playing, good football. He's showing great instincts and awareness.
Yeah.
You said those two things, Ben. Instincts and awareness about Savage. And then he said he's, continuing to progress. So he said some pretty good stuff about Savage. Now, you get some picks and people say good stuff about you. Just like
he's doing more than that. Hey, he's doing more than that.
I know, but he's being more impactful. But I think that's because they're doing sometimes, at least some of the time, like maybe you have some dumb examples, but at least some of the times and more of the time, rather than having him just hang out way, way deep or having him play man, he's in kind of a safety role where he can actually be closer to the ball and do something, break up a pass or do something or get the picks.
Yeah. I mean, I'll show you here. Like this play, this is a 3rd down and 4 before the 4th and 18 touchdown. Okay.
That one sucked, but yeah.
It's not the 3rd down before that. It's actually like 5 plays earlier, but they could have stopped him here. This is the same series. This is just showing what a dumb call this was. So on this play, the Eagles just run streaks pretty much straight up down the field, and all they want to do is open up for the tight end right here. He's just doing an out route from the inside, and the red line here is the 1st down. So they only need 4 yards, and somehow Savage was lined up right at the 40, and he beelined straight back. So I don't think he's doing that because he feels like it. That's got to be the defensive call. Jair's first step is backwards. Shannon Sullivan is on the slot, and he's running backwards. And then here's the dumbest part about this. Zadarius Smith comes out to play zone right here. And because of that, it leaves this gaping butthole of about 10 yards that is easy for Hurts to throw the ball to. And that's where – and then on the play, it looks like – because then, Savage is over here, and he sees it, and he comes running down, and he's the guy who makes a tackle, and everybody's like, Savage, what are you doing? Why is he so wide open? Oh, Savage. But it's like Savage took off. They're playing like some kind of weird – I think they were playing like a 3 deep, and then I think Shannon was supposed to be down in here, but Gary Z was in here. It's just weird.
Can you play it a little bit, but just advance it a little bit and then pause again? Because I want to see the numbers here. I want to see what the heck is happening.
How fast he runs back there?
No, I want to see what's going on with the guys at the top of the screen because there's only one receiver up there. Why do we have so many guys at the top of the screen?
Well, the running back is there.
Yeah, but you got.
Well, it's just like Kevin. Kirksey, it's just.
It appears like Kirksey is or somebody because one of those.
Kirksey was
advance it a little bit.
Kirksey was lined up like he was going to blitz.
Yeah. and then he backed out into the
And I
middle.
think, to be honest, I think there's a lot of plays where I think he's like the spy for Hertz, which makes no sense because he's way too slow to be a spy. But he's the spy for Hertz for some unknown reason, I think.
That's weird. That doesn't make any
And
sense.
24, Raven Green is blitzing on this play.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
And that's fine,
Yeah.
but I'm just trying to figure out.
So, like, look.
Okay, stop. Okay, stop.
See, so based on this coverage, it looks like it's 4 deep,
Yeah.
and then three underneath. But the first down marker is the 40-yard line.
Yeah. What do you?
So why are these guys like? Why is Jair running backwards, and why is Savage running backwards? They're 10 yards or 7-8 yards behind the first down and 3rd and 4.
It's just one of those things. Do you want to stop them from getting a touch, like the first down, and get the ball back, or you're just worried about not giving up a touchdown on that play? Like it drives me crazy.
And they send 4 on the blitz,
Yeah.
but one of them is Raven Green, and they drop Z back in coverage in the middle of the field. Like, what is Z gonna? He don't know how to cover anybody.
No.
So then, as the play develops, Savage is running backwards. I don't know why. Look at right there. Tight end goes out there. Boom. And he's wide open. And Chandon Sullivan's got to worry about this guy, so he's worried about him. And what's Z doing? He's just standing right there. Well, and the Eagles they didn't even run a play to get 3rd and 4. They ran a play for like freaking 12 yards. They're like, I don't care. And I mean, he could have threw it up here because even though there's 2 guys here, it didn't matter. He could have threw it anywhere. But now it just looks weird.
There's 3 guys on the top of the screen, and both the guys are open. The running back's open, and the receiver is open between them. And okay, on the bottom of the screen, you have 3 on 2. I mean, Savage, I wouldn't even count him as part of that group.
No, he's
not involved. So you basically have 3 receivers, 2 guys trying to cover 3 receivers. I mean,
you got Z covering the tight end in a zone, and he's just, I don't know what's going on.
He's not the right person.
And then, of course, Goddard makes the play, and all you see is him catch the ball, and then Savage is the next guy there to make a tackle. So it looks like Savage sucked. Well, no, Savage didn't suck. They set him deep on some dumb middle zone. This is what I'm showing, how Z backs up. And look at Kirksey looks like he's going to blitz. And he fakes it and then goes back over here. And, like, there's no pressure whatsoever. It was like the easiest freaking play I've ever seen in my life. It was the dumbest coverage ever, like ever.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is 4th and 18. This is the route combination. Now, this is not like, this is another reason why when you watch the play, who's the guy you see who got beat? Savage and Jair Alexander, right? That's the 2 guys who were over there and should have been able to make the play, right? Okay, well, this is going to show you that Savage is not his fault. On this route combination, you've got the tight end on the bottom, and you got all 3 receivers on the top of the screen. The middle slot receiver runs a streak route straight at Savage, okay? The outside receiver does the in route right at the sticks. So he's running straight towards Kevin King and then comes straight in at the sticks to get the first down, okay? Because it's 4th and 18. And then we know this guy is the guy, I don't know who, can't remember what his name, I don't remember what receiver it was, but he's the guy who comes all the way across and goes to the back corner, in the end zone and gets a touchdown, right? And then the tight end Goddard comes around over here, and he comes in here to try to freeze these 2 guys. The other thing is the running back is hanging out over here, and Hertz runs out of the pocket this way, and that freezes both Kirksey and Jair because they're looking at the back. They're looking in the backfield instead of looking at where the receivers are. And that freezes both of those guys, which leaves a big gaping hole back in the corner. But the funniest part of this is if okay, and then this is just showing the coverage. And they're worried about the first down marker. So like you got King goes to the first down marker. Amos goes to the middle of the field in the first down marker. Jair goes over to this side right at the first down marker. These 3 guys go about 5 to 7 yards in front of the first down marker, but it's still ways away from the line of scrimmage. And then Savage is like your deep, deep back guy. Like if something dumb happens, he's going to be there to try to clean up the mess, right? That's what his job is. But what they do is they attack Savage on this play. It's not, his fault. He's got to make some sort of decision here. And as you're watching, there's no pressure on the quarterback. Okay, so here's the problem.
No King Zukiki in there. That's the problem.
Well, yeah. So here's the problem right here. You got Savage is right here, right?
Yep.
Right? These 2 guys let everybody go past them because they're worried about like a quick turnaround and then so they won't throw the ball here or here, right? All three of these guys are taking care of the first down marker. That's what their assignment is. And because the pressure didn't get there, there's a big open hole for him to run through. That leaves Savage to have to cover not only this streak route going straight past him, but now he also sees this guy who's going to go get past Amos and then go deep. So he's got to decide, oh, crap, there's two guys I got to cover. And either way, he's in limbo. He doesn't know. He's not right. No matter what he does, he's wrong because the other guy's going to be wide open. So if he chose to stick here, or if he chose to go with this guy, so he kind of does nothing. But if he would have went harder on this, it would have been a touchdown over here because there's nothing he could not have been right. And what should have happened was Jair, because there's nothing going on in front of him really, Jair should have backed up because knowing, okay, the tight end just went in. I've got no responsibilities anymore. I need to get back and see where these receivers are. But his eyes are still in the backfield looking at Jalen Hurts, thinking he's going to run for it. You think Jalen Hurts is going to run for it on 4th and 18? I don't think so. I don't think any quarterback would be dumb enough to run for it on 4th and 18. Well, maybe, but I don't know. So as the play keeps going, Savage is running straight back because he doesn't know what to do. He's got to look at both these guys. So he then chooses to go with this guy. But at that point, it's too late. The ball's already in the air. Jair is way too far in front. And there's nothing Savage could do. So, but when you watch the game, it's like, Savage, what are you doing back there? All right, you're helping out. Well, he didn't help out because he was going to get screwed either way. He had to try to make a choice, and it wasn't going to work, no matter what he did. Now, here's the other problem on this dumb play. Like you said, no Kingsley Kiki. Okay, great. Well, who's in there? Well, you got Gary on the outside. You got Z over here and Kenny Clark here and Preston here. Preston does what he's supposed to do. He takes it right at the freaking tackle and then shoves him and goes to the outside, right? Same thing Gary does. Goes to the tackle, goes and then takes it to the
your
outside.
Unstable connection. Makes me mad. Why is Minnesota so unstable? It's supposed to be a nice, happy place.
Is it bad? I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. What did you
press
miss?
Play. Nothing. Just press play. Let's watch it.
Well, the bottom line is this. Z and Kenny Clark both do inside moves to the inside and leave a giant gaping hole for Jalen Hurts to get out of the pocket because they're both stupid, okay? Because they both go to the same spot. They don't hold their freaking lane assignments or whatever it is, right? And Z gets double teamed, and then he spins to the inside. And then they're both standing there. They run into each other like a couple of ding-dongs, and there's three guys to block those two. And then Jalen Hurts sneaks out, and Gary's getting held, but nobody calls it. And next thing you know, boom, you got a touchdown. So what I was trying to prove is Savage looked like he had a bad game a couple times. Like there were some big plays. Like there's another one where he fell down earlier, where he was covering the tight end and he fell down, and then the tight end was wide open for like a 40-yard gain or something. And it wasn't his fault. Savage had a good game, Bruce. So that was just what I'm trying to say. I don't know if you can hear me anymore or what's going on, but
it broke up a little bit. It seems like it's back, so not going to jinx it. All right, let's get some comments here. I like I like you pointing that out about Savage because, yeah, it did look bad a couple of times, but you see the whole thing, and then you can understand, like, that situation, it couldn't have been all him, or it was a really dumb coverage. Or Jair has to drop further back. Like, if the guy keeps going, there's no other receiver in front there, so he's got to continue to drop back and help him out. But I understand he gets caught up with the running or the rollout and all this stuff. But come on, man. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? We got Bruce talking about Savage a little bit. Yeah, there's some great ball skills, which is awesome. He's got good speed. He's an okay tackler. He's getting better with that stuff, so I do like that. All right. And then people are talking about how the Steelers lost, and they like that. All right. Okay. And Jay Sternberger is a former guest of Packcast. Is on here. Okay. Hey, welcome, Jace. How you doing? Let's see. Alan Lazard was on the herd today. Oh, man. I wonder if Colin was lathering him up trying to get him to say something bad about Aaron Rodgers. I'd have to check that out just for that. This is why Bruce dislikes zone. But Bruce, again, the problem is Packers struggle with man coverage somewhat too, the way they play it. Some of them. And so they got to play some zone. They got to be able to do it. It helps some of their guys at least keep their eyes. Again, the Packers the other thing with the man coverage when you're playing a speedy running quarterback like that is if they run their receivers downfield and guys are running man with them and they have their backs turned, that guy just take off and run, like we've seen plenty of other quarterbacks do. And when you're playing man, there's nobody that is there to slow the guy down. It's too easy, too easy for those guys. Like guys like Hurts and Wentz, who is really struggling, you got to make them pass because they they're much better at just taking off and running with the ball than they are passing these days. Okay, well that's some good stuff. 4th and 18 was bad, yeah, it was, but it happens. It sucked that it was compounded by the 3 and out and the punt, give up and all that stuff and whatever. I do have one quick side note before you go into your next play here.
Yep.
A more bad Packer defense. Can we skip bad Packer defense? Is there anything good? One more?
It's bad and then good.
Okay. I just wanted to say that Packers did make an announcement today that they are, for the rest of the regular season, is it the whole season or regular season? I got to check that. But they did say that they're keeping fans. Lambeau Field will limit game day attendance to family of Packers employees for the remainder of the regular season based on the pandemic. So just so you know.
I think for the postseason, they just be like, you know what? Come at your own risk. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean,
it was a joke. Calm down, everybody. Good Lord.
Hopefully we can get things in a better place by then, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, it's not that far away, dude.
Well, I mean, the scare is that after Thanksgiving, now in the next 2 weeks, we're going to see the ramifications. And then if people get together for holidays, for Christmas, then there could be more ramifications and just keep spreading stuff around. So I don't know. Be safe. Be careful, everybody. I get it's hard not to see family and do some of the things we're normally doing, but this thing's no joke. My wife's a nurse, and she can tell you all about it if you really want to know. All right, continue on. Packers. Are you frozen? Ben. Dang it. Ben said his connection was unstable tonight. And it is unstable. Much like me. Oh, are you back? No, we lost him. All right. Ben has a bunch of videos. He's got a whole bunch of videos. We hope his connection comes back and he'll try to join back in. Okay. So you saw some of that. While Ben's off, we can say some good stuff about Aaron Rodgers and I don't get arguments about it. All right. Here's how I'm going to go to Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, right? Because I don't understand why some of these media guys are saying, thank you, Bruce, for that. Appreciate it. I will let her know. She's not on the front lines anymore, but she does telephone triage nursing and talks to a lot of people with symptoms. And, it's like there's just lots of people calling in with struggling with that type of stuff. And it's just going rampant right now. So please, please, please wear your mask, take care of each other, be safe, respect the virus, respect other people. Again, wearing your mask is to protect other people. Respect that. Respect other people. Okay. Just show that respect. Okay. Anyway, back to the point here of football, which is Patrick Mahomes. Everybody's like, Patrick Mahomes, he's the greatest. He's clearly the MVP leader, blah, 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 blah. Clearly, come on now. The last few weeks, Aaron Rodgers has certainly caught up, I think. And actually, he's been playing great the whole season, except for one stinky game against Tampa Bay where he had a bunch of drops and he got pressured a lot and he had a terrible game. Fine. That's one game. That's one game for Aaron Rodgers that was bad. The rest of his games, awesome. That's why he's neck and neck, right there with Mahomes, above him in rating, just a touch behind in QBR, a little bit behind in yards, because Mahomes has thrown way more pass attempts. Their completion percentages are similar. Rodgers has more touchdowns, a few more interceptions, but more touchdown production. And, the numbers are really comparable. So at this point, again, the people who are finally saying, oh, well, Aaron Rodgers is just behind him now or getting close. No, he's been close. And he actually is the guy that should be in the lead based on what he's doing and the fact that he's doing it, one, with receivers and weapons that aren't the caliber of Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes has a pretty good defense. Kansas City still has a pretty good defense. Would you, if you ask yourself, to be honest, would you say the Packers have a good defense? Now, I know now they're top 10 in sacks because the last couple games they went sack crazy with these bad quarterbacks who like to run into sacks. And I know they got some turnovers. but they play some pretty bad teams. And so, like I told you before, look at the game. Look at how they play when they actually have to play defense against an offense. It's generally not very good. We get helped out by the other team stinking it up a little bit. So don't don't over don't overemphasize this defense that it's don't get misconceptions about it being actually good. It's not. It's not. They were a much better defense last year, but they also got a lot more turnovers. So maybe the turnovers made them look better than they actually were. I'm not sure. I think they played better last year in general. But the fact here is the defense, Ben's all right, Ben's out. But I'm just going to finish this point on the defense is please understand this defense is still not good, but we don't need them to be good. If the offense can be efficient and do what it's doing, we don't need the defense to be good. We need the defense to get a couple of stops a game, get a couple of turnovers or a couple of stops a game, and then we can still outscore the other team. That's what it's probably going to come down to. Okay. All right. So anyway, let me jump back into Mahomes here. Here are the numbers. Okay. Mahomes is thrown it 463 times. Rodgers 415 times. So Mahomes has about a little less than, he's got about 400 more yards than Rodgers. Rodgers' completion percentage almost 69%. Mahomes about 68%. So then you look at some of the more equalizing things. So passing average. Rodgers is 8.2. Mahomes is 8.2. So they're exactly the same there. Touchdowns, Mahomes 31 to 2 picks. Rodgers is 36 touchdowns to 4 picks. 118.5 rating, 84.6 QBR for Rodgers, and Mahomes is at 113.8 rating, 85.7 QBR. So that's where they are. Again, I said it before. I would say this would be a perfect season if they both continue to kind of play this way and are this close. I think it's a perfect season for a co-MVP, and I would be fine with that. I wouldn't have any arguments with that. But if Aaron Rodgers continues to play this well and goes on this clip and doesn't get the MVP and Mahomes does, it's wrong. It's just wrong. Whether I'm a Packers fan or not, that's wrong. All right. Bruce says he says that he thinks this is the best he's ever seen Rodgers play. And let's see. And I'm fairly young, but the 38 years I've been watching football, there's no one better. Agreed. And for me, too, it's the big thing. Carson Wentz is a perfect case. Derek Carr is a perfect case. When I talk about this stuff with Rodgers, a lot of it for me is how long he's done it this well. The consistency, the great play for this long. And yeah, he's had a couple of years that haven't been this spectacular, but he's been very, very good his entire career. So this was literally said a few years back with Carson Wentz, and that's why the Eagles paid him and he was going to be like the MVP and blah, blah, blah. And so he's the next great thing. And he actually was better, according to the players, than Aaron Rodgers in the top 100 and all this stuff. And now look at him. He can't even throw a football. He can't even figure out what he's doing out there. Okay, that's just a couple years removed from that. Derek Carr, who's my fantasy football quarterback, who had a big week this week, but stunk so bad the week before. Derek Carr. 5 years ago, guys like Colin Cowherd and other guys were saying, Derek Carr's better than Aaron Rodgers. Derek Carr, blah, blah, blah. He's the next great thing. No, he's not. Show me it. Do it for a while. Then we can talk. So even with Mahomes, as amazing as some of the stuff he does, remember, Rodgers did a bunch of this stuff first. He played that way. He did a bunch of things that Mahomes does. He was the original guy to do a whole bunch of this stuff, things that Mahomes does right now. But Aaron Rodgers, of course, now is old and he can't do it's not quite as spectacular or whatever. But I want to see Mahomes do it for 5 years, 6 years. Then we can talk. Okay? I'm going to say he's great, but at no point am I going to say he's the best quarterback I've ever seen. Aaron Rodgers is the boat. He doesn't have the accomplishments, fine, for all you people that like to grade quarterbacks on Super Bowl wins. So you can't call him the GOAT, but he is definitely the boat. No question about it. Aaron Rodgers, Best of all time to play the quarterback position. There's no argument on that. Ben might argue Matt Hasselbeck, but sorry, Ben. Hasselbeck was awesome. I loved him, but not as good as Rodgers. But those are the numbers. That's how close it is. All right. Just wanted to get that out there. I'm going to see if there's any other quick Packer news. Looks like we covered it. Pro Bowl voting is underway. Don't forget to vote for your Pro Bowl. And other than that, Matt LaFleur has got some. I'm curious about Matt LaFleur. What do you guys think? How much do you think Matt LaFleur is involved in the defensive game plan? Or not that he's necessarily creating the plan, but he has to have some input, right? He just has to. With as much as the defense has struggled, and he's the head coach, and I know he's the offensive guy, but I cannot believe that he's just saying, yeah, Mike, do whatever you want, and totally trusting Pettin on that. I can't believe it. So he has to have something to do with overseeing that. And hopefully, in the process of that, he's figuring out some of these deficiencies of the defense so they can put their guys in the best chance to be successful, right? Isn't that what coaching is? It's about putting your people in the best chance to be successful. That's what they need to do. And if that means simplifying it, or maybe it means playing more press man and not this soft man, or maybe there's a way they can play zone with certain guys. Kirksey is not the guy to help out. Yes, Hasselbeck, Ben. Kirksey is not the guy to help out with zone because he's too slow. But a guy like Ty Summers, if he was in there, that's a guy I would have play zone because he can do something, just like Savage. You know, maybe Mike Pettin needs to reinvent himself a bit. Maybe he needs to come up with some, because clearly what they do in a regular, man up and play without the turnovers doesn't work that great unless they get pressure or the quarterback screws up of the other team. So maybe he can come up with a defense that allows Savage to roam and use his range, that allows Ty Summers to be in the game and use his range in the middle. And those two guys, without any necessary, maybe those two are playing zone, and the rest of the guys man them up on people, and see if that's a more effective defense. Give me press man with Savage roaming in the middle and Ty Summers roaming in the short middle. I think they would be more successful than what they got right now. And always give me Kingsley Keke on the field because he's your best pass rusher. We've seen it. Ben just showed you before. What do we got about LaFleur? Ben's got some things here. LaFleur had some great plays. I think so too. He had some great plays from this last game. Bruce, I did this stuff a long time. I just keep talking. There's no problem. However, the thing is, some people have raised this concern. They're concerned the defense isn't good enough, that we're going to see that same sort of story where we get to the playoffs and the defense isn't good enough to win, for them to win. But I don't know. This offense, if they can keep clicking the way they're clicking, again, we just need a stop or two from the defense. 2 stops. I'm going to say 2 stops. If they can stop the other team from scoring 2 times in a game, we should be able to beat any team. Any team. So that's what I hope. I have a little more concern about the offense in terms of the offensive line, because I think a lot of the offensive line, like the offensive line has been getting credit. And Matt LaFleur said it after the game, how he sees it as the best offensive line in the league, the best unit in the league. I mean, I don't know. I don't watch every team's offensive line, but if this is the best offensive line in the league, I would be surprised by that if that's really the case. Now, maybe he's saying that as a vote of confidence. They have played pretty well, but a lot of times they haven't been asked to be difference makers for this offense to be successful. My estimation is, okay, most of the time, like some of the guys, yes, have played really well. Some of the guys have done enough to get the job done, and that's fine. And the Packers have been smart about getting the ball out of Rodgers' hands at times, running the ball in opportune times and also to the correct side of the formation or up the middle when you have a weak spot like Billy Turner at right tackle. So I think the Packers have been really smart in the way they've kind of worked with this offensive line, especially with all of the shuffling and the injuries and everything that's taken place. But I do wonder if we go against a stud defensive unit, if we meet Tampa Bay again, or we got to play the Rams because I don't like the Rams. Hopefully, anybody else like the Rams? I don't want to see that defense. I told Ben that Rams are now 8-4, leading the West, and their defense doesn't mess around. Like, yeah, they got Aaron Donald in the middle. They got other impactful guys. Their secondary is good. Fast linebackers. That's a good defense, a really, really good defense. So how does this line perform against a really good front? That has me concerned. I don't know. If you're going to put Rick Wagner and Billy Turner out there at the same time and expect them to hold up against a good side of a defensive front, I would not expect that to be a good day for the Packers, for their offense or for anybody. Rodgers won't be protected. Those linemen will not look good. The running game won't get going. So I just it's like we're one person too weak again. And you can say the if game, like what if Lane Taylor didn't get injured? What if, Lindsley wasn't hurt and we didn't have to shuffle around as much? Yes, we would be stronger. But I still think if Billy Turner's out there, he's been doing a little better. But if he's out there, that's a weak link. And if Wagner's next to him, they're okay. They're serviceable. But against a stud D lineman, they're going to get schooled. They're going to get run over. They're going to get eaten up. And that's the quickest way to shut down an offense is pressure from the D line. So that part has me a little scared. I would ask, does anybody know why Runyon was not in the game? Why, when Packers decided to, again, shuffle the offensive line and they knew Lindsey was going to be out, why did they flip Patrick over to left guard? And why did they put Turner and Wagner in on the right side and Runyon couldn't play? I asked that the other day. I still don't get it. I agree with Bruce. I think Runyon should have played. Has he shown you in his time he's been in the game? All he showed was good stuff pretty much. I mean, he's a rookie, 6th-round pick, but he got put in the game, played well, good run blocker, decent enough pass blocker on the inside. I like the kid. Why was the decision made to not have him in there? I don't know. Now, at least, and this is again where I'm going back to coaching, and I will say this. I got one other point, and then I'll probably let you go because I don't want to ramble on forever unless you guys got some stuff you want to talk about or bring up. But I think it was a smart coaching adjustment then if you were going to say we're going to go with Billy Turner and Rick Wagner to move Patrick over to left guard, because then at least between center to left tackle, you had a pretty strong side of the line for running plays, and that Rodgers knew that his backside was pretty well protected, and so he really only had to kind of look out on the front side a little bit more if he was going to hold the ball at all. So that was smart coaching. I'm going to go to one other point, and then I'll let you guys go for tonight because I think I don't want to go on just by myself anymore, although I could, but you guys don't want to hear that. The last thing is this. Ben and I have talked about before about the coaches that make the decisions of who's in the game. And if you listen to Aaron Rodgers' interviews and some of he's done on Pat McAfee and stuff like that in recent weeks, he's talked about some of these players like Alan Lazard, like Bob Tunyon, like other players who, came on as undrafted guys or low draft picks or weren't guys that were even necessarily supposed to make the team and then found their way now into prominent roles. And he said you could see it on the look team when they played on the scout team. The effort was there, the preparation, everything they put into it. And he even said he was watching the scout team and he's like, who the hell is this 13 guy? Where did this guy come from? And why isn't he on, getting reps with us? And if you recall back to when Aaron Rodgers called for Alan Lazard last year when they're having so many
receiver injuries and screw ups in the Lions game at home last year and all that. And finally, Rodgers called to get Lazard in the game and said, "Give me 13." And then it took that long for a guy like Bob Tunyon to get on the field. It's just confusing to me about the coaches that are making those playing time decisions for those position groups. If it's actually the position coach who's making the call about which guy's in the game, like we've heard, then how are they not evaluating the talent properly to get the best guys on the field? I don't get it. We saw from Tunyon for more than a year and a half, the talent. Why wouldn't you get him in there for some reps? Lazard, why did it take Aaron Rodgers, your star quarterback, in a bad spot in the game that you were struggling in and had so many problems with, balls bouncing off receivers' faces and stuff like that, for him to get the guy on the field? How does that happen? So that's another spot where I would say Matt LaFleur needs to take a little bit more charge, just like he needs to have a little more oversight on what the defensive coaches are doing, what the defense is doing. He needs to have a little more oversight on playing time decisions that are being made. Because ultimately it's going to be on his head, right? Ultimately, he's responsible for all of it. So I want to see, I like what Matt LaFleur's been doing. I've come around on him for sure, but I do want to see him take a little more command of what's happening outside of just the offense in general, what the offense is doing. I know it's a lot, but hey, it's a big job and he's got to take it on. He's got to do it because I don't want to see that anymore. I don't want to see the guys that should be in the game sitting on the sideline. I want to see this type of distribution between Jones and Williams that we just saw. 15 carries to 5 carries. That's about right. Okay? That's about right. So anyway, that's my challenge to Matt LaFleur. Do it. You guys take care of yourselves. Ben will have like 50 plays on Friday night if his connection works. No, he won't. But we'll try to bring up some of the good plays to enjoy some of that. If he's got some, he put some work into it. I don't want to just shove that to the side. We thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for being around. I do want to do one quick fart gun salute for a super fan. Now, I'm going to make it quick, but the super fan this week, in a victory week, is not only, it's going to be a dual super fan, because the two people that are always there, that always support Ben and me for everything we've ever done, told us we were great at stuff when we weren't, still do that, come on here with all of us, throw in little comments once in a while. Hey, Lee, how you doing? And also there are inside scoopers for Packer News right from the heart of it, because they're right up there. They get the scoops before anybody else does. And that is Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad, the number one super fans of Hafeman Bros. Plus they gave us life, so they get an extra one of those. We'll finish with the fart gun salute tonight. Send you off with that. Anyway, stay well. Take care. Enjoy your holidays in a different way this year, because we can still enjoy them. But we got to enjoy football this weekend. Game at Detroit. Don't forget, 3:25. It's going to be a wild one. Could be a shootout, but I hope it's... That's for you, Mom and Dad. I hope it's a wild one on Sunday. It's going to be fun. And I hope Aaron Rodgers lights him up, clearly takes the lead from Patrick Mahomes by getting like another 5-6 touchdown game with no picks. That'd be awesome. All right, we'll talk more on Friday night with you guys. We'll talk with Ben. He'll be back. You guys will be back. Take care of yourselves. Stay well. Talk to you later.